Meet Rodney Earl Sanders. He was in court today for killing a couple of nuns down in Mississippi. These nuns were nurse practitioners in, I don't know, one of the poorest areas in America you could find outside of an Indian reservation. Anyway, Rodney Earl Sanders lived in a shack across the street from where the nuns had a clinic or an office or a home. One day he decided, for reasons of his own, just to walk into their house. He met one nun, he beat her, he raped her, he killed her. The other nun came out, he beat her, raped her, killed her, stole their car. Now, every time I hear about somebody getting killed during a car theft of any kind, I can't help but think of the guy in Chicago. A white guy was being carjacked by one of the fellas, took a gun out and killed the fella. Now all the fella's friends are all upset. They said he had insurance. Why didn't you just take the insurance? Let the guy have your car. You'll get a better car. Don't you know crime is the new black entitlement? So now we have Rodney Earl Sanders down in Mississippi killing a couple of white nuns. Everybody shrugs their shoulders and says, well, we don't have any idea why he did that. We hear that a lot whenever we see an episode of senseless black on white murder and violence and killing. Wow, why would somebody do that? Why? I don't really care. I'm not overly concerned with why. I am concerned that there is a pattern of this wildly out of proportion, and lots of people say the pattern doesn't exist, or the pattern's not important, or white people deserve it, or it's not really happening. What's happening? Let's take a little look into what happened in the courtroom recently. Let's come back and close it up with a word or two about the nuns.
My sister Paula and sister Margaret were loving, compassionate women who served the underserved in Mississippi for over 30 years. They loved and were loved by their patients. Invariably, when I have visited over the years, I would meet people in stores or the post office or wherever who said, boy, do you look like Sister Paula? And I would say, yes, I am your sister. Mr. Sanders, I'm sorry for whatever had happened in your life that brought you to that horrendous decision and action that you took on that night in August. The pain and loss that you have caused our family will never go away.
You have not only left a huge hole in our families and community, but also in your own family. You had an opportunity to be a husband and father, live a happy life, be an example to your children, but you destroyed that. Now you, who could have been a role model for them, are in prison for the rest of your life.
Mr. Sanders, on a warm August day, your life changed forever. You made a decision that has impacted your life and the life of your family, but also the lives of too many more to count. On that day, Sister Paula Merrill and Sister Margaret Held died at your hands. On that day, their family and friends, their religious communities, their neighbors, and the people of Holmes County lost two humble, simple, and dedicated women of God.
We hope that you will ask the God our sisters served so faithfully and so bravely to forgive you for taking their lives. Your actions caused so much hurt and sorrow to those who love them, but also to those who love you.
I don't know what they will do. They're so precious. They're so precious.
Knowing the kind of people they were, I feel sure that their last breath, whether it was conscious or not, was a prayer of forgiveness, Rodney. That's the kind of Christians they were. That's the kind of life they lived.
Listen, I did the Catholic thing for 12 years. In my family, there are lots of nuns. There's a priest. So I know the type. I just don't know what version of Christianity requires you to place yourself into these potentially deadly situations, knowing as you go in, you are somehow required by this version of Christianity to forgive the people who will rob you, rape you, and kill you. I don't get that. I don't get why the families and the friends of those nuns weren't speaking out a little more forcefully about this pattern of black on white crime and violence. Did they think that somehow telling the truth about this would violate their religion? Would violate their version of Christianity? I'm not familiar with any version of Christianity where we're not allowed to tell the truth about things, but apparently that is rampant. Whenever we do a story about Mississippi, I can't help but think of our favorite councilman up there in Jackson, Mississippi, who wants his city, Jackson, the largest city in Mississippi, the state capital of Mississippi. This city councilman, Councilman Stokes, he wants the city to be a sanctuary for criminals. So when cops try to chase black people commit crimes outside of Jackson, and they rush back to Jackson to hide from the cops, he says black people, including the ministers, should be out there throwing rocks and bricks and bottles at the cops to let them know they're not wanted, because after all, everybody knows the only thing black people are doing when they leave Jackson, Mississippi, is they go into other towns. All they do is steal bubble gum. What's the big deal with that? What's the big deal with a few nuns? What's the big deal with having a religion that requires you to commit suicide in the name of some kind of ridiculous racial empathy? All in the service of the most important credo, of the most important religion in America. That credo, of course, is do not make the black kids angry.